And I can't go live on Facebook or on YouTube because, well, there's two reasons, but they're boring at the moment. Now it's saying my internet connection is unstable. Can you hear me all right?
It's a little shady. It's a little shady with the video.
Okay,
It's
okay.
cutting
So
out.
I'm going to go and move into the other place and see whether that improves things. Because I did that thing with your friend Jamie yesterday, and it was just better when I sat next to the internet thing. So I'm going to go over there.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of options. If I sit out here, I'm much closer to the internet, and then I've also got a kind of nice background. The only problem is the sound from the road. So how's that for sound and for video? Is that any better?
So the sound is better. The video is lagging, but it's still better.
Okay.
It's lagging, but it's better than it was a second ago.
Okay, well, I mean, we're not going to move around too much, I don't suppose. So we'll just see how it goes. Yeah. I originally planned to do this vlog with my cousin, who's called Glenn Streeter. And I do and plan to invite him to join us, perhaps not on this first introductory session, but certainly having said his name now, people can go, oh, well, who's Glenn Streeter? And if they go to Gaia or I think YouTube, I'm not sure what's up there, but he is an energy medicine practitioner. He runs something called Energy Med Fit. So you can look it up, but he's brilliant. He's one of the most advanced practitioners I've ever come across. And it's kind of weird because we share the same surname. So we kind of adopted each other, especially as he's an American and I'm British, and I kind of moved into his town. I can't even remember how we were introduced, but we did some work with Yerka from Gaia, you know, when Gaia was first getting set up. And yeah, he made a really big impression on me. And then, of course, he treated me personally. So that's why this show is called Word from the Streets, because this was always the name we were going to give the show, because, you know, we're both streets, and that just seemed to make sense. So I hope that's okay with you, because I kind of was like wondering what to call this thing. And, you know, I really do want it to be two things, really. One is an opportunity for anyone who wants to see themselves as they really are to do that. And in a sense, if they want, they can watch this live, maybe not right now, but maybe next week, watch it actually live. And then I hope to always have a free portal to the Soul Mirror, so that effectively someone can watch the show, they can maybe take a photograph of themselves with a screenshot or a selfie, or, you know, FaceTime. I mean, any way. And of course, there are basic criteria which make an image good. And obviously we're going to have to explain all of that. And then essentially, if somebody wants to, they could send in their image that they'd just taken to us, and we could do a live interpretation. So that's something that I feel will be a common thread of this process. And I guess all the time that we're not doing that, we're going to be explaining really, to me, what has been 100 years of missing science and knowledge, because for some reason, which I'm sure will become more and more clear, this whole subject was kind of made taboo. And you can see that, you know, there were quite a lot of people in the early part of the last century doing research into ether and plasma, from a kind of consciousness perspective as well, and from a healing perspective, not just sort of highbrow science trying to make nuclear fusion, but really kind of as a tool for wellness, as well as you know, just honoring it in its as a fourth state of matter, which plasma is, of course. So that's the other thing I hope to fill in, you know, this 100 years of knowledge, because what's hidden in all that knowledge is what makes a human being, and really allows us to honor our spirituality in a very dynamic way. One of the issues I think we can all agree on is that religion has become a bit of a closed system. And I think the reason why that is because of this suppression of understanding that kind of infinite aspect of ourselves. So, you know, even if it's a bit mystifying right now, I don't care. Just keep watching, because this will all be revealed from not just 30 years perspective in our lab, which I hope people will agree as they find out about what we've been doing, what was our intention, you know, what was our motivation, and actually what we did, because you can say and think whatever you like, but what you do is the important thing. And, you know, we stand proud that, I don't know exactly, but I think we had something like 25,000 people in our community through our clinic, because we always had a number of doctors working there doing kind of biofield stuff. And they were all qualified as different practitioners. So we would, for example, I had 2 homeopaths working there for a number of years. I mean, a number of different homeopaths, but there's always 2 there. And so they would run a homeopathic clinic, and free. The whole thing was free. You know, that's a legacy that, you know, all the local people perhaps couldn't afford medical care. There isn't a credible government health service. I mean, it's underfunded, let's say. Most people use private healthcare in and around where our research lab was. So, you know, that's the kind of basis for this. Introducing me, introducing Glenn, introducing you, Arty, and, you know, what you're going to bring to the craft. And, you know, I see you as a really genuine seeker. Someone who doesn't have the blinkers on of kind of conditioning, and is genuinely interested, as hopefully many other people are, in this particular journey. So you have the opportunity to liaise with all those people and kind of be their voice. You know, if we can't get someone on the show live, then maybe they'll email you and say, you know, I've got this issue and blah, 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 what. And then, you know, we can bring that to life for them, their individual stuff. They may want to be anonymous, for example. So, you know, if you hold the scepter for everyone, I think that would be a good place to be. And of course, my aim is to take you personally on this journey, so that right now, for example, why not let's take a picture of your biofield in the soul mirror, and everyone else who watches this recording today, tomorrow, next week, for example, can do it as well. And so by next week, we may have 10, 20, 50 people who've taken this opportunity to use our free portal to the soul mirror. I mean, the thing that excites us is that really when these whole lockdowns started, we realized we needed to serve our healing community in a new way. Previously, I would travel the world every year and run workshops and train and support professional holistic practitioners with in-clinic technology. But we realized when lockdowns came along, that was the one problem, though, that people couldn't really travel. I mean, there was definitely a huge emergency health service going on, but in terms of, oh, wow, we have the same kind of spirally thing. Where's mine? Here. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Well, let me jump in, man. So
Go on.
yeah, yeah. You know, I love how you introduced me. I love how you introduced yourself. And yeah, I am, you know, I'm a seeker. I'm a genuine seeker. And this has been my year of initiation. I used to be somebody who didn't believe in any of that energy crap. I used to call it. I'd be like, it's not real. I used to be like, you know, can't prove it. You know, if there's not studies to prove it, like I don't want anything to do with that. I want scientific evidence only.
Right.
And this has been my year of astrology, witches, just getting into, you know, the power of energy healing. And one of my mottos has become, you know, whenever you think you found a root cause, there's always a root cause to your root cause.
Wow.
And there's just something deeper that we're all trying to heal.
Right.
And when I met you in Puerto Escondido, I don't know if you want me to tell your listeners where you're located, because they might want to raise you up on a pedestal and carry you around in a chair.
You're very sweet, but actually it's not quite like that. I mean, real, you know, my motivation for all of this is a transfer of knowledge, you know. When I was a kid and I sat at the feet of my teachers, you know, I'd often be on a rattling train, straining my ears to hear these pearls of wisdom. And, you know, it was always like, this stuff's never going to be written down. It's never going to be that double-edged sword where someone whose spirit is polluted can even access this. It's an irony. In the same way that a toilet has a U-bend, spirit has a U-bend, and it's called air, fire, you know, water, earth. You know, those elements protect spirit from those creatures that populate and exist needing all five elements. I mean, the esoteric reality is massive, and the synthesis that's gone on, as I've experienced it as a scientist with an open mind and an open heart, the synthesis between the Vedic sciences and the Oriental sciences and the Western knowledge, the kind of theosophical, esoteric, that integration has quietly gone on the last 30 years, because, for example, when I was 20, the meridians and the nadis were two different systems. There was no convergence. The acupuncture points and the marma points were two systems. People didn't even understand that the ancient yogic sciences and the traditional Chinese systems were basically just talking about the same glass of water, and one focused more on it being half full and the other half empty, or they were looking at the same map, and one of them was looking at the terrain and the other was looking at the contours, the heights, you know, just different ways of looking at the same thing. And in fact, I joke that really it was a divine act of protection, that half of this sacred knowledge during the Dark Age needed to be stored on one side of the Himalayas, and the other half needed to be stored and saved on the other. And so the rishis kept this knowledge, and it's been really amazing to me that I've had access to all of this stuff, so that when my teams of researchers around the world have wanted to dive into something, that stuff's been available, because internet, what have you, stuff that you'd never know to look for, lost in language, lost in translation. You know, there's many reasons why we've been stuck in our silos, apart from the fact that it's not been part of the university system through design, because of our focus on industrial, profitable biochemical medicines, keeping us in that box, keeping the genie in his lamp. And of course, a lot of different processes are going on to challenge the status quo. But for those of us who really work and serve divinity, we're not worried about it. You know, you're all in or you're not. You know, you don't kind of pick cherries in life. This whole thing is a divine play. And divinity is that evolution of consciousness which exists as all of us. And so you kind of end up boxing yourself on the nose or standing on your own toe or spiking your own face whenever you actually challenge what's going on. It's much better just to be in bliss. And I think that's a segue ultimately, Artem, into the real fundamental of what we can achieve together through this particular portal of exposure. And what we can achieve is that we can give people an opportunity to look in the soul mirror, okay? And see themselves as they really are, without anyone necessarily even interpreting what that information means, but just hold and witness, hold space and witness themselves in the stationary, relaxed state, yeah? And so, helicopter, I'm going to let it pass.
I think it's worth it. With the kind of views that we're getting here, I prefer this than being inside. It's beautiful.
Thank you. So, so the point is, you then have effectively a baseline. You have a mapping where you're plotting yourself in time and space. A dot A. This is where I am. Okay, and the factors which would classify as optimization of this individual's soul state, those factors are twofold. Okay, so the first factor is what I call tensegrity, and it's a word that Buckminster Fuller came up with, and my mentor James Oshman has used in energy medicine, so I feel very happy to pull it in. Tensegrity relates to symmetry, but it also relates to the sort of almost fractal-like interconnectedness of an entire system, so that the symmetry comes from the wholeness. And therefore, when something has a sort of perfect coefficient of tensegrity, it would be like a tent that someone's put up right on the mountain. And so when the gale comes through, all of the tension and the ropes and the flexible pole, they provide that perfect strength so you can have a good night's sleep. Whereas if there's some compromise in the symmetry and tensegrity of this tent, then the wind's going to get underneath it and you're going to perhaps even be blown off the mountain. So it's a big issue, tensegrity. And because the biofield is a toroid, now I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna take a bit of a minute to do this because, you know, what's the point in talking about something if you can't actually show it? So I'm gonna show it in a minute. Okay, so tensegrity is the core issue for wellness, and I now call healing phase shift, and the shifting is the shifting in this coefficient of tensegrity. So that, and my dog's squeaking, let's see what he's up to. I'm just trying to find the good picture. Yeah, I've got this. I'm going to share my screen here.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't be too limblommed. Okay, so this is a slideshow from last year in spring energy medicine conference out of New York. And this is what is a toroid. Okay. This.
I'm still waiting on it.
Oh, boo!
I still can't see it, but it's working on it.
Yeah, it's working on it. I mean, such is life, really. It says my connection is unstable as well.
There it is.
Great. Well, this is a toroid.
Okay, I see it now, though.
And this is effectively, I mean, this says biofield viewer, but it's effectively a soul mirror image because soul mirror is that online aspect of biofield viewer technology. But I do want people to realize, before I explain the other aspect of healing and optimization, is that, as I was alluding to before, you know, when we had these lockdowns, you know, it really was imperative for us to kind of develop all the technology to make our system available at a distance, you know, for everybody online. And hey guys, come on. Sienna, please take your kitten and don't make the dogs all wide up. Please, darling. That's not fair. Just please don't wind up the doggies. Okay, but I can hear them excited. So, so anyhow, yeah, I think I was talking about obviously tensegrity. I was going somewhere with something, but anyhow, yeah, this toroidal nature of the biofield.
You were.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the online technology. Just the fact that Soul Mirror is available really is credit to John Catchpole. Now that anyone can access our system on a phone, on an iPad, this is all just amazing. I mean, it always was the prime candidate for distant screening in terms of telemedicine, because computers have cameras, and with our nonlinear program, we've been able to turn the video camera into a clairvoyant in the same way that a human can accept their clairvoyance, if you like. So yeah, I mean, now I've got my slides open. Let me show you what healing actually looks like. I don't know whether you've ever seen this before. I think I need to keep my mouth shut. I don't know whether there's sound on this, but can you see what's going on here? There's a lady who's undressed, standing against a white background, and there's another lady in a black t-shirt, basically with her hand on just below her throat. Can you see that?
I see it. Yeah.
Great. So what's
going on here?
So what's happening here is that we're able to see that this is in chakra viewer on the biofield viewer system, and so we can clearly see the chakras. So when somebody takes a set of images, as I'm offering through this free portal. Oh wow, that was bizarre. That'll look mad on the video. I think a plant pot just fell.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
They were trying to kill me. Yeah. So yeah, there's
a ghost.
There's two sets of opportunities. People can develop their images in biofield mode, which speaks to the systems of the body. So like the energy associated with the skeletal system, the biofield processes associated with digestion or cardiac function and so forth. And the chakra viewer, which this video is shot in, allows us to see more the sort of emotional template. So for example, all the little asymmetries that I can see in an individual speak to something. Now, you see this right arm, there's a pink pattern below it on her body. Now, if she was standing there on her own, I would know that would be something. It would mean something. But because this lady's arm is there, it's possibly shadow. So this is what I would call artifact. We don't know what it is yet. So I'm not even looking down there. Where I'm looking in this video is where she's working and this energy around her head. Now, ironically, this lady herself, I can tell, is already a very spiritually advanced person. The lady who's getting healing. This is almost like a session between two healers giving each other support, rather than a healer healing an actual person with some kind of chronic disease, because this picture is really nice and beautiful and bright anyway. When we see a lot of yellow in the field, it implies that someone is really on the cusp of a really important change, right? Really diving into and accepting their own divinity. And the yellow is that kind of vacillation of overthinking and almost sabotaging that process, where they vacillate from being, I accept my divinity, to I'm just a bag of bones and I'm going to die one day. You know, this process of accepting who we really are is actually very interesting, and it shows up in the biofield of someone who's on that kind of spiritual journey, and they just need a little nudge so they can really claim their prize. That's why this slideshow is called Choose It, Claim It, Own It.
Thor,
yeah.
Thor, let me ask you. So you said, which color was the color of being on the cusp of something?
Right.
How do you know this by looking at it? Can you go into a little bit more detail so I could know?
I can. Now, the thing about soul mirror images and biofield images is that color relates to brightness. Okay, so this white means this lady's got she looks like a lighthouse. someone even with a normal, no spiritual knowledge at all would almost see that. You know how they paint halos on church windows and in sort of medieval art. That's what
Oh
we're
yeah.
seeing here. We're seeing this lady's halo. And halos were often so bright. And of course, in the olden days, there was no electromagnetic pollution or whatever, which makes us dive like a submarine. Our consciousness dives when there's too much noise. And so we end up just with a little periscope. But that's not about wholeness. That's an opportunity to avoid, being disturbed. But
So what you're looking at, are
yeah.
you looking at the halo outside of her body, right?
Yeah,
The white
exactly.
halo?
Yeah, this halo here, yeah. And of course, if she wasn't standing there, we would still see rings because there's a light shining at one point. But the important thing to notice when you're even taking your soul images, take a picture of the white wall first that you're lighting. Like as if you're taking a passport photo, you now need to kind of light a wall. You see there's no shadow on this lady? That's the only criteria for a good image, is no shadow. Yeah. When there's shadow, it becomes difficult to read. Like, for example, if you see me now, the sun's this side. So my face here is well lit, but this side's in the shadow. So don't develop a picture like this with a background like this, because you'll have the biofield of all the plants. It'll just be a soup. I mean, it'll be an art project. But in terms of if you want to interpret the biofield and take a baseline, then you need to be more like you are, with a white wall behind you, well lit in front. That you see, you're perfect. If you just took that shirt off and take as much of a picture you want. Obviously, with a selfie, we have a bit of a problem because it makes one of the arms come up. And as you can see in this image here, look at this lady's shorts. Can you notice that her left side is a little bit higher than her right side?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also,
I'm guessing there's something, yeah.
yeah,
With the symmetry, huh?
and notice her shoulders. This one, I mean, I don't know whether you can actually see it. It's ever so slightly higher than this one. There's just a tiny, I mean, if I have my kind of graphic thing, I could drop, we could see that more clearly. And again, this lady is really great, but I'm just showing you that we can really analyze the structure of someone. Like, for example, I just need an image like this and I can tell what's going on in the lower part of their body without having to see it. But that's interesting. It speaks to the wholeness of the system. Okay,
Wow.
so I'm going to keep going a bit. It was actually, the question you were asking was about this yellow. And of course, yellow is just not quite as bright as white. And that's what I mean. If we see a lot of yellow, it's someone kind of lingering just off their own stage. They need to get on stage under the spotlights, but they're a little kind of butterfly-y, and so they're hanging in the wings. And so the message I would give to this lady is, stand in your truth, stand in your light. You're absolutely amazing. The only thing holding you back is you.
Yeah.
I don't have that conversation with everybody. That's top table conversation.
That's beautiful. I wish I was, that's a great thing to hear from the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, but everyone, everyone gets here. Everyone gets to go there. There's nothing that nothing that can hold you back. Using this tool and this process, there's nothing that can hold you back. Unless you've got such a savage chronic disease already ravaging you that we can't deal with, sorry, come back next time and we'll have a go. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, everyone can do this and they're in charge. There's no healer here. There's no doctor, like across the table from your own records, and then the doctor goes and washes his hands. So you have a quick sneak peek in your own life story. No, thank you. That's corruption.
Let me ask you, so do you look more at the body or the rings outside of the body? What makes both?
Both are significant, yeah. So we're doing analysis of the body surface. So for example, you see this pink in here. That's probably a broken tooth, or a tooth that needs, some dental hygiene issue, because it's only on one side. And it's even giving, it's giving her a bit of stress. So it's an issue she needs to deal with. you know, once you get over 50, teeth and tits, man. Woof.
That's gonna be the title of your new book.
Well, actually, that's from a dear friend of mine, a post of dear friend of mine, Tanya Smith, made a few days ago. So I was just honoring the fact that this is real. You know, I actually broke a tooth last night chewing a sandwich. So yeah, it's probably why it's on.
You did?
Yeah, yeah. I'm an old boy, you know.
What did you have in that sandwich? Glass?
No, it was French. It was a French baguette, and if you know what French baguettes are like, they're a bit chewy anyway. And I had sort of the Spanish equivalent of Parma ham in it. I forget the name of the word. Serrano, yeah. So yeah, it was a kind of guaranteed. Anyway, I'm actually becoming more and more kind of vegetarian, I would say. You know, I used to be quite proud that I was a vegetarian once removed. And people would say, well, what does that mean? I'd say I eat them, you know, like, ooh, that's horrible. But now I'm going the meat market here, and I just can't bear it. So yeah, I think I'll be a vegetarian by this time next year. So
Wow.
anyway, let me show you a little bit more of this video, because this video uniquely captures what I call that phase shift that we call healing. And you see she's yawning here. That's actually a sign of kind of releasing energies. Now she's about to go like puff. It's out of this world. I'm so glad I captured it. The healer's obviously like, it's like there's a bucket that's leaking. The healer's inspiring the individual to heal those leaking energies so that they can be full and then be abundant. Sorry, there's trucks and cars and all kinds of things going on.
The clavicle, like here.
So this lady's kind of, you see what happened? It went whiter when she put her hand up there. No, bah! You see, that's healing. It's an instant. It can be, the session can be an hour long, but there's a kind of a dance going on as that tensegrity is coming into play and becoming balanced. Poof. And then when the tensegrity is there, then the system can handle the increase in amplitude. In other words, poof, it can start shining. It's out of this world. And this is the potential for a human being.
And maybe you know, maybe I missed it because the video's a little slow, but where was that instant where it happened for you?
Okay, so
like in the video, like
okay, yeah, I'll show you. I can actually just, you know, because it's a video in a slideshow, I guess I can rewind it. Although I can't see the tools of this. Maybe I have to change the view or something. Maybe I have to play it. Does that give me the, yeah. Here's the control. So you see, yeah, look, I can fast forward now. So that's all that session we were watching. And then it gets to a point where she yawns. Yeah, that's a sign. Bang. 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 It's amazing, dude. So it's 1 minute 34 in. And then she holds this. She holds that. And that's the other good thing about the soul mirrors, because once you see those changes and you can digest them into your consciousness, not just your subconscious, that's why I say choose it, claim it, own it. Once you choose life, you then have to claim this optimization. And once you've got it, you've got to own it. You know? In other words, fake it till you make it, I suppose.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Beautiful. So
yeah. I mean, one thing I love about, one thing I love about this is it puts the power back into the hands of the people. You know, we don't give our power. We've given a lot of our powers away to, you know, doctors, and a lot of times doctors don't give you the right advice because they don't know your body as intimately as you know your body, right?
Right.
And just empowering people to, you know, do the best work that they can do for themselves, because nobody knows how to heal you like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, this is now precision guided process. We're not having to go back to the astrologer and going, how am I doing? You know, no, this is like, you take another picture and see, you know, wow, I'm 15% more aligned. And so what is the thing that's getting aligned? If you imagine this toroidal field is like a spinning top, right? So it has a pitch and a yaw, okay? This is the spin. Now, a soul that's going to live a good long life, 108 years, that toroid is going to spin on its vertical axis without any losses of power by being drawn in or back by something. And disease is that process of slowing the spin of our toroidal field. So, you know, how do you get a top that's spinning? Remember those little wooden toys they use, and you get the string and you go thong? Well, that's what divinity does with us. So we'll set spinning for 70, 80 years. Yeah. Now, if there's a whole lot of psychopathic lunatics in my office, for example, their energy is going to make me flare back. Is a known fact. If I don't have a healthy relationship with my partner, for example, I may turn that way. Whatever it is that there are things that can affect us. If I sleep next to a teas maid, you know, an electronic tea maker, or I have my mobile phone plugged into to charge at night beside my head, that's enough to make our energy fields tip out of our bodies. And so we end up with a kind of a drag going on, and that slows us down. That's why we die at 60 instead of 85. So how do you get a top that is spinning off? In other words, the tensegrity of we're talking about centripetal and centrifugal forces here, yeah? So if the integrity of that is compromised, you can't get you can't stop it and get a bit of string and give it another spin. That's just not a good analogy for this. But what we can do is by induction, you know, like maybe like you have a plate under your phone, you can charge it. You know, you can induce the top to start spinning back on its axis and back to the doings. And that's what healers do. Or this process of seeing yourself spinning off in the mirror allows you to recalibrate yourself, because it's all done here anyway by intention. If you listen to my other lectures on YouTube or whatever, there's a recent one from Emerging Science Foundation, you'll see you know, basically what our equipment is doing. I may go through it over the course of time of the show, but I kind of need you to do a bit of homework, really, if you really want to fully understand what this opportunity is. And I don't mind it being a mystery right now, because that's okay too. You know, this is a kind of a mystery school, there's so many aspects to it and so much to discuss. And I think it'll be a really juicy way to do that is by guiding individuals through their stuff. You know, 1 in 100 people who take their soul mirror images might want to have this kind of interpretation where they join us here in the Zoom up there and they send us the pictures. And I say, okay, well, this is what this means. This is what your picture is telling me to tell you. Now, they don't need that part of it, because they can just use the image as a baseline and it's like, do you really need to know why before you fix something? Or do you just fix it? You really need to dwell, like you said, the root cause of the root cause. Well, that's a fractal that's going to chase you all down into previous lives, maybe, which you know, what are you going to do about? You want to go back there and get in the DeLorean with Michael?
Maybe.
There are healing techniques like matrix re-imprinting, where the practitioner really cleverly takes you back through time to your childhood, and you're really present in those instances where you were abused or traumatized. And yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we can do, because once we're using this equipment, which people will come to know I talk about as being the sports gearbox, once we use this eco sports gearbox, that operates beyond space and time. and how that works and why that happens, I'm really happy to explain, because part of my training, well, my training's been twofold. One, through a process called Shnum. That's an Avestan expression. It means the knowledge of the unknowable. So it's esoteric science piped in straight from Zoroastrian energy, I guess, that I happen to have educated with. I was at university with the Zoroastrians studying Avesta and their perspective on all of these things, because it's, again, a different angle from the Vedic understanding, the kind of modern yoga. You know what the pizza effect is?
No, I do not.
Pizza effect, I think it's something to do with, obviously pizzas came from Italy. And then in New York, the Italians started making them, and they became globally famous as a food, like a fast food. And so now you can get New York pizzas in Sicily, and it's a sort of journey away from you, but then also coming back with a fresh load of energy. It's called the pizza effect. And I think that's true with yoga. Yoga came to the West and turned everybody on, and now it's having a revival from where it came from as well. That's the pizza effect. So there are all these processes going on which allows my community to be very hot with new knowledge and new excitement. So perhaps I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to show a couple more pictures at the moment. I don't know, I'm not sharing my screen right now, am I?
No, you're not. At the moment, you're not.
Yeah, so there's one picture that I've got on my screen. Do I share screen here? I have to make this bigger, I think, so I can even see what I'm doing. Yeah, share screen. Yeah, I've got this one picture that I do like to share. It's a kind of off. Tell me when you can see it.
I can't see it yet.
It's a finger.
It's thinking.
Good.
There it is. Okay, I see it now.
Okay, so what we can see here is the bioplasma. This is the fourth state of matter. You've got ice, water, steam, ionized ions, charged ions, plasma we call that, yeah? So this is bioplasma. So the finger is the solid, the ice, the blood is the liquid. There's, I'm sure, all kinds of gases that have been diffused into the bloodstream. And then this is just the plasma. So the four states of matter, I mean, there aren't just four states of matter, but we're saying there are because, we're going along with the science. But look here, you see the light actually shines out of the fingerprint. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This is the skeleton.
Totally.
This is the skeleton of the soul. And this is why palm readers and all kinds of people can read it, because this is the sacred heartstrings and light strings of the soul, which populate and project from the soul, and they provide the blueprint upon which the physical body forms. Whether you're going to have all 10 toes and all 10 fingers when you're born is determined by the unfoldment of this butterfly that we call the biofield. After it kind of, as it.
Are you implying that the biofield comes before us? Is it there before we're here in human form?
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, the point is it provides the template in the womb for the cells that are rapidly dividing to know where to go. And what's interesting is, in the womb, we go through different creature states. You can see a tadpole with a tail. I mean, we don't have a tail, but why do we have a tail in the womb? Because in the womb, we're importantly going through all our previous lives. So in 9 months, we go through 10.8 million years worth of history. We relive it. And after about 100 days, the soul enters the body, and then we relive all our human lives over the next gestation period. And that's why, for example, everything's so interconnected. They did research, didn't they, they had a father on one side of the planet, and they sort of pretended to sort of hurt him. And the baby that was wired up in the mother could feel what the father was going through. You know, I mean, just because we can't see any of these connections doesn't mean they're not there, both on this earthly plane in this present dimension, but also as tentacles and kind of anchor chains into the past and the future. And so that's what we're going to be discussing here, not some frou-frou adoration. No, this is science stuff. This is new science, new knowledge, ancient knowledge in the light of new understanding. And my aim fundamentally is to give people that opportunity through optimization of themselves and their biofields, sort of really living the most potential, and then encourage people to be relevant and to do things with quality, whatever it is they choose to do. I've got a track record for mentorship of other younger generations because I'm really passionate that people really fulfill themselves, you know, like, and they really serve nature in the best way possible. You know, I'm really excited to use a search engine that plants a tree every day, every time I search, rather than produces another data point for selling something to someone. You know, we're only a 1 degree shift away from really kind of sailing into the open waters of stewardship and Eden. But we're also 1 degree away from the rocks and get smashed up.
Yeah. And it's about, I guess it's about us being conscious of every little choice that we make, and not blacking out and just doing something because we're told it's the right thing to do, but really, you know, going inside and seeing how we feel with each choice and making sure that it's actually doing the most good that we can do.
Yeah, totally. That's it. It's like being on purpose. It's very powerful when you...
I just had an idea though. What if...
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm all in, dude.
Oh, you know, I was thinking as you were... I know sometimes we have this lag, which makes the conversation just have this weird feel. But, you know, I was thinking, what if maybe for next time, what if I take biofield pictures that we can interpret throughout the day, and I'll take maybe 5 pictures. I'll take one when I wake up. I'll take one after I do my morning routine. I'll take one after work. I'll take one after my workout, and then I'll take one right before I go to bed. And it'd just be so interesting for me to see, and for you to interpret what happens and like what things are constant and what things are changing throughout the day. And I think for me, that would be just a really cool way to learn more about this technology.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, it gets you to...
What do you think?
Well, no, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to do it. I mean, to be honest, I'm already doing it right now. I'm taking a picture of you right now because I just want people to realize how versatile this stuff is. I can take a screenshot.
Wow.
Like that. And then that goes up to my screen. And then you see, if you can see the screen now, I'm actually giving the website details for everybody who wants to get access to the Soul Mirror, free demo access. It's hugeaura.com. Now everyone knows how to spell huge and everyone knows how to spell aura, so no problem there. Hugeaura.com and then /soul-mirror. So take a screenshot right now of this. If you're watching this afternoon or tomorrow and you've not done this yet, or you don't have this portal code, it's not going to be open for long. Maybe, I don't know, actually, we'll see. But it's open now. And you know, we may create a special one for this show, but at the moment, this portal is open. Username is SM and password is SM. And we'll add this link to the bottom of this first show. And then you see what I can do now. That's what happens when I put that link in. So it goes choose file. So I'm going to choose that file I just took of you. Why is it saying recent? desktop. What? Today.
And right now the share screen is frozen. The share screen is frozen on my end right now.
Yeah, I get that. There is something going on there. I understand that. Well, I think it's because I'm just overwhelming my computer. I even have FaceTime open at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this is the process. There's the thing. I can see your picture on the desktop. For some reason, I'm just going to stop sharing then, and I'll just do that process quietly in the background. Clearly, we need to sort of sort out our internet. Although I have got something quite weird here. Choose file to upload. Oh, there you are. Da-dang. Okay, so I'm going to upload your picture into the Soul Mirror, and anyone can do this. You can do it on a phone. So you know, if you get the biofield viewer system, you can do this live. But you know, we just can't store billions of gigabytes of people's videos for free. We just can't do that. So at the moment, it's just like a letterbox. You put your picture in and instantly it comes straight back out again. Because this is a cloud-powered graphics. It's really high-end graphics that we're using, and therefore we save your computer's processing power because it's all done kind of off-screen, as it were. So there we are. Oh, wow, man, you've got a shiny biofield. I'm going to try and share my screen right now. Oh gosh, there's so much going on here. Share. Yeah,
right.
God, dude. I mean, somehow I got your hand stuck up there, but that's no big deal. And of course, you know, it's darker in the background because you're not standing right up close to the wall. In fact, it's got the ceiling on one wall. But can you see it yet?
Not yet. It's working on it. Okay. Oh, that looks like an album cover. That looks cool.
Yeah, doesn't it? It looks really cool. And so, I mean, the thing is that the light is coming in on you here. So it's kind of, the light is always the thing that directs the movie. And that's why we like people to be really straight on to their light source. But there are little things going on here, like, for example, around your eyes and here on the side of your nose, which in theory, because the light is shining straight on your face there, you know, I'm surprised to see that little pink thing in there. And then there's a few little pink lines in here, which could indicate some kind of activity, you know, in terms of oral hygiene or maybe even clenching. You might have a little bit of stress, and so you're slightly tight in your jaw in the evening. These are the kind of things that this image is telling me, but I'm not going to do a mega interpretation on it because it's not taken well enough. But, you know, I can speak to it. And so part of the process, for you and I is to make sure people take images correctly. And the real stacker is the fact that, you know, I guess just the last 3 years, they stopped recommending people use those photo me booths for passport photos. You know, you have a strip of 5-6 pictures of yourself. And they actually said, no, we need you to take a digital picture with your phone. So you end up, okay, well, you need to have a white background, you know, you can't have shadow, no artifacts, no plants, just a white background, no smile, you know, just take a picture, boom, not this shadow here. That wouldn't work, would it? It's got to be straight like that, bang. See, no shadow. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Just by me turning, but of course this glass is no good. I need to find a white wall. So, hey, that's not rocket science. I mean, I can easily find a white wall. I mean, this is a bit of a cheat because there's a pillar, but that's something. This would be enough. Although, you see, I've now gone back, so it's not as well lit. I prefer people to be well lit, like this. And so that they need to use a light of some kind. But gee, come on, we're not asking for too much for the people who want to play this game.
So my background would actually be ideal then with a white wall.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. So for next time we do this, I'll have pictures that I'll take 5 pictures throughout the day. Yeah. The one day that I'm, you know, kind of doing my thing. And I think that'll just be so cool. And maybe, yeah. And that way people.
Can I recommend that you do 2 experiments? One throughout the day, because that would perhaps give insights into the sort of the rhythm of the day and your energy rhythm. But if you also take a picture at the same time every day, so like every morning, 11 o'clock, you just take a picture. What we can then see in that series of pictures, if they're similar, we can overlay them, for example, so we could see the onset of something coming or something clearing away. You know, you can make a GIF of all these front shots. You can actually see something just disappearing. It's quite powerful.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So that's 2 experiments that we can start running, and maybe it'd be really cool if people could start pitching in too.
Yeah,
and
like I said, I've already posted that link, hugeaura.com/soul-mirror. Username, password are both the same, SM, small s, small m, small s, small m. So that it's not just you, buddy. Hopefully there'll be 100 people doing it.
Yeah. And all they got to do is take their biofield and send it in and post it on the Facebook?
No. They can keep their own. It's nothing to do with us. If they want to
Okay.
to us and
Yeah.
find us and go through it, that's up to them. But you know, that's a public thing. Then, you know, some people may just like, I'm going to keep, this is for me.
This is mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and
totally.
This portal, which is an open experiment based on this vlog, you know, for those who really want to support our work, you can go to Patreon and you can actually sign up for your own version of this system. So there's no traffic jams. I mean, if someone else is using it, you may have to wait a minute for this one. But yeah, we very much appreciate that. And it's $25 a month. So if somebody wanted to do it and support our work, they can also actually pay for it. And at the moment, we've just launched our new system for animals, which is called Petal. So again, they can sign up for that as well. And Petal is evolving very differently from the Soul Mirror because animals have very unique scenarios. They're often not able to get them in a white background because they may be in a field. And also they're very furry animals. So we have compromises with hair. And so we super accentuate the subtle energy aspect of our equipment. And then we can really see things very clearly in animals and pets as well. So, you know, this is what we're doing. So there's no reason why we can't work with animals during the show as well. If someone's got a particularly loved friend that they want us to help understand or heal, work with, you know, maybe we'll have a couple of horses on the next show.
How cool is that? On the cutting edge of biofield for your animals. Yeah, right. That's some cool stuff, man.
Exactly. So I think we should call it a day, Artem. We've had fun. This has been an interesting session. I don't suppose if we go much longer, we'll say too much more. I think we've made it clear what our intention is. It's Friday, no? So we're going to do this every Friday, or what?
Let's keep it going. We did number 1 today. Let's do Fridays.
Yeah, cool. So then, I mean, maybe for 2-3 months, we'll make this commitment to keep this portal open and to support this group of journeymen. And hopefully 1 or 2 of them will even join the Zoom next week. We'll just see how it unfolds. I don't know. I've got no projections. I just want to do what I feel is needed.
We have such a finite amount of time, and spreading this message with your group and just being a part of that makes me, you know, that seems like it could align with me as well. So let's do it, man.
Great.
And let's spread the word.
Okay. All right, Arty. God bless you, mate.
All right, man. Talk soon, and enjoy that Mexican sunset.
Well, I'll sort of tidy this thing up and post it and send you a link.
Sounds good, brother. Talk soon, and yeah, man. Enjoy the day.
Bye.